Russian public appears to be souring on war casualties, analysis shows. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Public sentiment in Russia over war casualties has been turning more negative during the intense fighting in recent months in eastern Ukraine, according to a new analysis. U.S. officials have highlighted the huge numbers of Russian troops killed and wounded in Bakhmut, Ukraine, in recent months, which they estimate to be more than 100,000. The city has become the scene of the most intense urban combat in Europe since World War II. Those losses appear to be affecting public opinion. Filter Labs AI, which uses messages on the Telegram app, posts on social media and discussions on internet forums to track Russian public sentiment on a range of topics, has found that views on war casualties have become increasingly negative since late February. At the beginning of the war, some U.S. officials predicted that public support for Russian President Vladimir Putin would erode as the war went on and economic sanctions bit more deeply, potentially pressuring him to end the conflict. But that has not happened. Support for the war remains strong in Russia. It began to dip slightly in early March, only to rebound around the country's May 9 Victory Day celebrations, according to the Filter Labs analysis. Still, U.S. officials say that although Russian public opinion has been difficult to accurately track, they too believe cracks in support have begun to show in recent months. Former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev, an aide of Vladimir Putin, has claimed the Ukraine war could last for decades with long periods of fighting interspersed by truces. Medvedev often makes hardline comments and last month described Ukrainian authorities as an infection. This conflict will last a very long time, most likely decades, RIA cited Medvedev as saying. As long as there is such a power in place, there will be, say, 3 years of truce, 2 years of conflict, and everything will be repeated, he continued, reiterating Moscow's claim that Ukraine is a Nazi state. In January, Medvedev said if Russia were defeated it could trigger a nuclear war. Russia's private army chief says more than 20,000 of his troops died in Bakhmut battle. Analysts believe the 9-month fight for Bakhmut alone has cost the lives of tens of thousands of soldiers, among them convicts who reportedly received little training before being sent to the front. The head of the Russian private army, Wagner, said his force lost more than 20,000 fighters in the drawn-out battle for Bakhmut, with about 20% of the 50,000 Russian convicts he recruited to fight in the 15-month war dying in the eastern Ukrainian city. The figure was in stark contrast with widely disputed claims from Moscow that it lost just over 6,000 troops in the war, and is higher than the official estimate of the Soviet losses in the Afghanistan War of 15,000 troops between 1979–89. Ukraine hasn't said how many of its soldiers have died since Russia's full-scale invasion in February 2022. Analysts believe the 9-month fight for Bakhmut alone has cost the lives of tens of thousands of soldiers, among them convicts who reportedly received little training before being sent to the front. Russia's invasion goal of demilitarizing Ukraine has backfired because Ukraine's military has become stronger with the supply of weapons and training by its Western allies, Wagner chief Yevgeny Prigozhin said in an interview published with Konstantin Dolgov, a pro-Kremlin political strategist. Prigozhin also said the Kremlin's forces have killed civilians during the war, something Moscow has repeatedly and vehemently denied. Prigozhin, a wealthy business person with longtime links to Russian President Vladimir Putin, is known for his bluster, often spiced with obscenities, and has previously made unverifiable claims, some of which he later backtracked on.